Hello everybody, and welcome back to Harvest Moon Tree of Tranquility. We are now on spring day 15. I did want to play a little bit more from where I had left off last time, but we're actually going to get more of the story from Hamilton when we leave our house. And I didn't want to miss that. You've made some great progress on your ranch. I finally found that quilt, and I feel like you're the right person to show it to. Let's go to my house. Alright. Not sure why he couldn't show it to me at my house, but that's fine. This is the Harvest Sprite quilt. It's been handed down in my family for generations, but I feel like I'm supposed to give it to you now. Hopefully Gil doesn't get too pissed off. So he's given us the left half of the quilt. It's only half of a quilt. We're missing the right half. Harvest sprites make magical rainbows. Build them up into the sky and the harvest goddess will bless the island. I'm not sure what it's saying, but I think it's a clue of some sort. Do you have any questions? Well, we might as well just go through them all. We'll ask about the harvest sprites first. They're fairies that are believed to live on this island. They say only kids can see them. My son Gil says he saw them when he was little. Okay. So these harvest sprites can apparently make rainbows. I guess so, and it sounds like the rainbows have something to do with the harvest goddess. You know, this island was famous for its rainbows a long time ago. Interesting. I'd like to know where the right half of the quilt is. The right half has been missing for 10 years. My son said that the harvest sprites hid it. I can't for the life of me imagine why they do something like that, though. That's all I know. If you could find the right half of the quilt, I'm sure it would make a lot more sense. Yeah, I'm sure it would too, Hamilton. It's a shame you lost it. So to my knowledge, that piece of dialogue is going to come up anytime randomly after you have made a grand total of $2,000 and shipped $2,000 worth of goods through your shipping box. And you can see there that I'm kind of in and around that number at the moment. So now we are spoon-fed a little bit of information, but we still really know nothing when it comes down to it because we are still missing that other half of the quilt. And believe it or not, this is actually where upgrading your house comes in. We will not be able to advance on in the story and find the right half of that quilt until we've upgraded our house to the second level, which I know is kind of a random sort of goal. It's kind of cryptic and a little bit hard to guess. But that is going to be our next goal. So I'm going to have to go to Dale's and I'm going to have to see how much materials I need and how much it's going to cost me to do that. I have been gathering materials a lot. I've gotten quite a bit of stone and quite a bit of lumber as well. Alright, so I wasted my time with those potatoes actually because they're ready to go. But that's alright, I can always maybe plant more or just leave it for now. Alright, my rucksack is also full, and the reason for that is because I was mining yesterday, and as you can see, I did pretty well. I got quite a few sparkling items. But I had gotten back from the mine very late, and I was not able to bring it all to Myra in time before the store closed, so I really had no choice but to bring it home with me, and then of course I was going to kind of do that off screen, but I couldn't because Hamilton came to interrupt me, so that's not a big deal because we have to kind of go there anyways, seeing as how I do want to check up on what the house is going to cost me at Dale's. Now I know Ramsey's is closed on Mondays, so we should be able to speak to Myra And I think Dale's is closed on Saturdays. So my hope is that we won't have any problems just doing those few little goals today. There's nothing to forage in the woods. I usually like to go to the woods first and just pick up any herbs or anything that I see laying around for a little bit of easy cash. I'm gonna check the sign here. Yes, they are closed on Saturdays. Wonderful. So they should be open around 9. I'll just have to wait until they open. So we'll go to Ramsey's first and we will speak to Myra. And we'll get all the stuff refined in our bag. So we were able to get 2 silver bars, a rare metal, and 2 moonlight stones. From what I remember, in this game, the rare ore is not actually used to make tools. I think the highest level you can go up to in this game is gold. The rare metal is actually used in making accessories. If we talk to Myra and we go to accessory making, I do believe there are quite a few items in here, like the Harvest Goddess Brooch, for example, which requires the rare metal. I don't remember it being necessary, and so I think I am going to just go ahead and perhaps sell the rare metal. Like, I have enough to make this ring, but from what I remember, this is purely cosmetic. This does nothing for me in terms of stat boosting. I don't get any more stamina out of this or anything like that. Now, mind you, I could be wrong. Maybe it has a greater purpose and I'll be swearing at myself later for selling it, but I think for the time being, we really do need that little bit of extra cash. So we might as well go ahead and sell those, and I am going to save the silver for when I upgrade my tools to a silver level. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk to Dale. And let's see what this is going to cost us. It looks like we need 24 stone, 27 lumber, and we need $4,500 for that, which is a little bit steep. We almost have the required amount of lumber. I've got half of the stone, but I definitely am going to need a lot more money in order to do that. Now, in reality, there really is no rush because, like I said, we really can't make any progress even if we wanted to until fall, but I do like to get as much of the story stuff out of the way as I can. It just breaks it all down into smaller and more manageable goals. So that was all I really had planned for today. When I was mining yesterday, I was pretty successful. I was able to hit a lot of positive status effect gases, so I was able to keep my stamina going for a really, really long time, and I actually made it down to level 25, which is where I was finding all of that nice rare ore and all of those nice sparkly jewels. And considering that level 30 is the bottom, I did actually make it almost all the way down to the bottom. Now on level 30, when we do make it down to the bottom, we are able to get ourselves a power berry. And there is also a body of water down there. It's like a little miniature lake that you can fish in. The power berry, of course, is the big thing that you want. And so eventually, we will try and make our way down there. But I really don't have a lot of stamina left in the day from all of my watering. So if I wanted to actually be successful in mining today, I should have probably gone to the hot springs first. I do find that the game is fairly generous though in giving you a lot of mushrooms on each floor. Usually I can find at least one a floor just to keep me going. And if I am low on stamina, what I'll usually do is I'll look around for the staircase first I'll keep going down if I can, and if I can't find the staircase, I'll just try and hit that lone rock until I am maybe able to find the next staircase going down. You can see on this floor here, I'm out of luck. I have to kind of hit around until I find it. And now we're back on the dark floor. Floor 7 is always like this. There's certain floors that are scripted to be a certain way. Floor 7, for example, is always going to be dark and full of tons and tons and tons of pitfalls. There's one floor that's made up entirely of all different kinds of mushrooms. There's some floors that are made up entirely of pretty much just all these nice colored rocks and stuff like that. So if you're playing along with me at home, the mine is definitely worth exploring because there is really a lot to see. There's a lot going on. And I still think it's one of the best ways, if not the best way, to make money early on in the game and also to level your tools. Now, unfortunately, because I didn't get a lot of time just to play on my own as I had planned, I don't really have a lot to sort of talk about. So I'm just kind of going through my process of what it is that I've been doing. If nothing else, I can just sell these mushrooms that I've found. But if I really did want to make the time stretch out, what I would do is I would go to the hot springs and then come back. But I hate to do that on video just because it does take such a long time to do that. I wouldn't have enough time to fit that all in, really. And sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't. I'm really not hitting a lot of rocks down here. I'm sort of just hitting a rock here and there, so I'm obviously not getting a lot of results. Mining becomes a lot more fun when you have a lot more energy to do so. When I don't have to depend on eating mushrooms and I don't have to depend on going to the hot springs and things like that. And I can just stay down here for a long period of time because my tools are upgraded, then it becomes a lot more fun, I think. And you can see by now, we're actually already almost halfway down. So it really doesn't take long either if you just come in here with a goal in mind. It's not a whole lot on this floor though, and I don't see a staircase. Now, the mushroom floor is either going to be on 17 or 18, so maybe what I'll do is I'll just go down another floor or two, just so I can show off what that looks like. For those of you who may not have made it to this floor yet. Because generally on some floors you'll find maybe one, maybe two different mushrooms. It's gotta be floor 19, because 18 is dark. But I'm getting pretty lucky with these staircases. So here it is. So this is floor 19, and this is an example of a floor that is not randomly generated. The design will be randomly generated in that it can be any shape, but on this floor you are always guaranteed to find a lot of mushrooms and toadstools. So if you've made it this far and you haven't gotten a lot of gems, at the very least you can pick up all the toadstools, all of the mushrooms, and you can sell those. So now we're at floor 20. We only have 10 more floors to go before we hit the bottom. But realistically, I don't think that that's going to happen. Once you've hit this point though, if you have a lot of stamina, this would be a really good point if you've been saving it up to start hitting rocks and try and get some ore. This is where you're going to find the rare ore. You have a really good chance of finding gold, silver, the rare ore that we had refined earlier. I think you have a much better chance of finding gems in the gem piles. So sometimes it's worth it just to try and save your energy until you get down low, depending on what it is that you're looking for. If you're looking for iron or you're looking for copper, then it's probably more beneficial for you to stay upwards in between like floors 1 and 15. But as you can see here, we've just kind of hit around a little bit, and we've managed to pick up a couple of things. But I've wasted all of my energy at this point. So I'll go down another level and then I will go back up. I do promise you guys one day though, I will stock up on some items to help me with my stamina. And once we have better tools and things like that, we will definitely make it down to the bottom of that mine so that I can show you all that lake and get that power berry that I was talking about. So not an overly successful day, but as you can see here, we have 18 toadstools. Now on their own, toadstools don't sell for a lot, but when you have a large number like that, it is actually going to give us a pretty decent amount of profit. Now what time is it? It's 5:10, which means that the blacksmith is closed, so unfortunately I am not able to bring that red wonderful to Myra. I'm gonna have to wait until tomorrow. So at this point, I will either just head right to my house and call it an early night, or I'll head to the hot springs and then use the rest of that energy, maybe gathering some rocks or chopping down a tree. But I think just for the sake of this video, I'm going to just call it quits here. I'm really surprised at how easy it is to lose track of time and how easy it is for me to keep making these videos like 20 minutes long. Hopefully that's not too long of a video for you guys. And they are going to get more spaced out as time goes on. I shouldn't have any more story interruptions at this point because we don't have that second level of house and I haven't talked to anybody to trigger any more events. So hopefully when I come back in a few days from now, I'll have some more exciting news for you guys. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that you will join me next time.